Hey guys, it's Cece from the Scream Queens. If you listen to us every Wednesday and you decided, hey, I want to do that, how do I start? Best way to go about it is to check out Anchor. Anchor distributes your podcast for you. It allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. It's free to start, and you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's something the Scream Queens use, and it's everything you need in a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started today.
This episode is brought to you by the Slash and Cast Podcast Network. Learn more at slashandcast.net.
You know I don't watch that shit.
Why not? Too scared?
No, it's just what's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
What are you waiting for, huh? Because nobody admits anything they've done!
Hello, boils, ghouls, non-binary creatures of the darkness. We are back with another episode of the Scream Queens. I am Cece.
And I am Jess.
Hello.
Ooh, oh my god, we
Did we just do that
again? Last week we literally ended the show. I don't know if you guys caught it. We said the same thing in the same tone. We like sing songs.
Yes. What the
We were like,
hell?
bye.
Yep. We said it exactly the same.
Oh my god, Cece, how are you doing tonight? It's almost midnight.
Yeah, it is. We're wild like this.
Oh my god, normally our episodes would be going up right now. Spoiler alert, guys, we are a little behind right now.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, they're starting to go up now at a later time,
Yeah,
so
we
that's
upload
okay.
at 6 now, so I mean,
Yep.
6 p.m.
So we're good. We're good.
Cece, my arm hurts.
I know. It'll only last like another day or so, if that.
Guys, I got vaccinated today. I think last week I was like, I don't know if it's gonna happen. It happened.
Yay!
Nate and I both got vaccinated today at Publix. Thank you, Publix. You guys are doing the Lord's work right now. And my sister works in the pharmacy. And just being there for, how the 30 minutes I was there today, the bullshit that those pharmacy techs and the kids that they're putting to help them up front are going through with these vaccines, and the terrible people and the way they're treating them. I appreciate you guys, and I am so thankful that you guys are working and doing all of this and going through the stress so we can all be safe and go back to normal. So I just wanted to say that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Even if you're not at Publix, anyone at a vaccine site, a testing site, first responders, whoever you are, we appreciate you. We see you.
Absolutely. I didn't realize. I don't think about that,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not them. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't realize they were getting treated poorly. The place I went, they weren't, but...
Yeah, no, Publix. I mean, my sister works in the pharmacy at one in downtown Fort Lauderdale, near downtown Fort Lauderdale. So she's seeing a lot of people that are just not treating them very nicely. And I know it's been crazy, and COVID's been crazy for everybody. But these kids at Publix, and I say kids because a lot of them are young. Publix hires at 15. Obviously not the ones administering the vaccines, but the ones helping in line, having you guys fill out the forms and stuff like that. They're kids. And they've been working through this entire pandemic. And I can tell you, my sister works at a hospital part-time and Publix part-time. My sister has been exposed 6 times at Publix to COVID and 0 times at the hospital. So the fact that she has to deal with that bullshit, and she has worked through this entire pandemic and all of her coworkers and everything, I just saw the bullshit they were going through today, when people should just be grateful that we're able to get this for free and even get it to begin with. I just wanted to say something on the show because I felt very strongly about that.
Sure. Absolutely.
But back to the fun stuff.
These people are trying to help you, so just be patient and yeah.
It'll happen, guys. But yeah, I got my vaccine. We're almost back to normalcy, halfway there. My mutant powers have started to kick in. I've named the tracking device. Its name is Chip.
Oh my god.
Microchip. No. What mutant powers did you get, Cece? Mega sleep. You got the power of mega sleep.
Yes. Well, a backwards schedule is more like.
So we'll call you like reverse girl.
I'm like what's it called? Nocturnal now.
Oh, you.
I mean,
Oh.
I was kind of like that anyway before, but even more so now.
Cece, could you say that you are possibly turning into Batgirl?
Sure.
You're nocturnal. I just have a dead arm. We'll see what happens in the morning.
Oh, are you gonna grow like a chainsaw arm like Bruce Campbell? Or like, why did I say his real name?
I mean,
Ash.
I don't even have a witty comeback to that one. I'm
I'm like,
threw me-
wait,
I was
Ash
like-
Williams?
I was like, Bruce Campbell doesn't have a chainsaw arm.
Oh my god, okay.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
So welcome back to the Scream Queens, guys.
Yeah. Now that all that is aside, we have some fun news.
Yeah.
Do you want to go or do you want me to go first?
I have 3 things. You have a lot of things?
Nope, just 2 quick things, so I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. So, as you guys know probably by now, because we're now recording this on the 6th of April. Show goes up tomorrow on the 7th. April 1st, Creepshow season 2 is now live on Shudder. The first episode aired on April 1st, I believe. I have not unfortunately watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either.
It's on the list. And episode 2 is coming out on the 8th. So I got to get on that.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited. I love this show. The first season was fantastic. Greg Nicotero is doing an awesome job. But yeah, I just wanted to announce that, that show's up and running again now for the second
And
season.
that's on Shudder, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Which, if you don't want to pay for just Shudder, you can do an add-on with Amazon Prime Video for like additional $5 or something like that. So it's totally worth it. I think
Super worth it. Just for the documentaries, I feel like alone. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes documentaries on Shudder.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great ones.
And I love some nerdy shit. You know me.
Oh yeah, I love them all. I watched the In Search of Darkness.
Why don't we cover some of these documentaries? We always go straight to movies. I feel like we forget about these things.
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
I just finished up the second season of History of Horrors with Eli Roth, which I think is also on Shudder, or it's either that or it's the AMC part of
I'm not 100%
the add-on.
sure.
But either way, it's a great show too. But yeah, so Creepshow's up. Another show I want to talk about. So we know that Sci-Fi is putting out the new Chucky series. We just got word today that Alex Vincent, aka Andy, and Christine Elise, aka Kyle, both from Kyle's from number 2.
Yes.
His foster sister.
Oh my god, I love her.
They're coming back as Andy and Kyle.
Yes.
To the show.
Oh my god. I didn't
Yes.
know that. Ooh, I love
very
your news because I never know it.
Yes, I'm very excited because as I mentioned on our couple episodes ago when we did our rankings, that at the end you got to watch the end credit scene on Cult of Chucky.
I still have
which Andy and Kyle comes back. We obviously see Andy was left at the whatever, the institution. We don't know what's going on with him, but apparently it's going to be a true franchise reunion because also Jennifer Tilly's coming back. Fiona Dourif as Nika is coming back, apparently.
Ooh, okay.
And there's some newcomers like Devin Sawa, aka the guy who played Casper.
As Charles, as Nika.
Ooh, I don't know.
Ooh. Ooh.
Should be interesting.
Oh, see, I was already excited after we did our ranking, and now I'm like super excited. I love Kyle.
I know. I'm so stoked. Like, they just keep announcing that, like, basically a lot of people from the franchise are coming back. So that makes me happy. And it's apparently going to be a deep dive into the character. It's going to be a fresh take on the franchise and some more in-depth, I hope, backstory and stuff like that. So that's exciting. But yeah, that's what I have for now for news. What do you have?
So what I have, this is all Universal news. We actually have some HHN, but I'm going to start with just the general, not general, but the theme park, the Universal theme park news. Our first announcement, and I kept saying, I feel like once Mardi Gras is over, we're going to get an announcement. We're going to get another announcement. They're going to see how much money they made. And every time I say that, Universal, you push Mardi Gras back again, and we're never going to fucking get an announcement. And I'm always going to be wrong. It's going to be HHN with Mardi Gras at this point.
Oh my God.
So, Mardi Gras, if you didn't catch from that whole thing I just went on. Mardi Gras has been extended for the second time now. So we're gonna let the good times roll. I don't know how to say it in what is that, French or I'm not sure. See, I don't even know.
French or Creole, I'm not sure.
The laissez whatever, you know what I'm saying. Feet don't fail me now. Mardi Gras has been extended to May 2nd.
Wow.
So that's that's 3 weeks.
Almost a month, yeah.
Almost a month.
Close to
So
a month.
I know that they are making hella money off this. I'm actually going on so tomorrow, now that it's Wednesday. I'm going tomorrow. I'm very excited. I will have a I don't want to say a full report, but next week I'll do a little review, maybe like my favorites and what I didn't love.
Sure.
Just because I'm really excited. I feel like they kind of hit the ball out of the park with Mardi Gras this year, and I haven't even gone yet, just from what I've heard and seen online. So yeah, that's been extended to May 2nd. So it looks like we might actually get to go together, Cece.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was actually worried that I wasn't gonna be able to see the event, but we just decided we're gonna go for my birthday.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Oh my God, I can't wait. All the food.
I know.
All the beads.
Yes. I
Oh.
have never been to Mardi Gras, at least in the last few years. I went years ago, like when I was a kid, but I have not been in the last, like as an adult. So I'm excited.
My last trip to the theme parks before the shutdown for the pandemic was Mardi Gras.
Oh, wow. Yeah, last year they did it for a short while, right?
Yeah, I got to see it in February. The alcoholic drinks were amazing last year, so I'm excited to see kind of what they have now. Last year it was more like HHN, where they had like the few signature drinks, but I know this is more like a food and wine festival, which makes me even more excited. And the tasting lanyard is such a good deal. I'm definitely getting one of those. Someone told me it's like 15 for 60, $70 or something like that. And you can get anything that has a Universal logo, like globe, next to it on the menu.
Cool. You'll have to let me know how the beignets are, because I've been craving beignets, and Port Orleans is not open. So I need some beignets in my life.
I would totally bring some to you if Ashley didn't have to work and we had to leave like super fast after.
No, it's okay. I just need you to try them and tell me if they're good.
I will send you a full video of me inhaling the sugar for you.
Okay.
But yeah, Mardi Gras extended to May 2nd. So if you haven't gone, go out there, check it out. The floats are out there. They're throwing beads. There's a tribute store. There's really cute merch. Definitely check it out. But let's go. Let's take a little hop, skip, and a jump over to IOA for a second. And we rarely have Islands of Adventure news here on the Scream Queens. We finally, and I say finally with a lot of emphasis here, guys, we finally have an opening date announcement for Velocicoaster.
Woo.
Holy shit, it's happening, guys. It's not just there for show and to taunt you in the background. So Universal, it actually went out, well, yesterday now on the 6th. It was really funny how they did it. I feel like they retweeted all of that, and then they had a tweet from March 2nd that it said, to be first in line to ride Velocicoaster, I would blank. And then they said, some of you are going to be doing some weird stuff on June 10th. And that's the first way I found out it was opening June 10th. But there was a whole video and everything. There's behind the scenes pictures of the Raptors and the queue and stuff like, or I'm sorry, they're Raptors, right? Velociraptors. Awesome. Sorry, I was like, no, they're Velocas.
Wow.
I'm very tired.
That's okay.
Yeah, June 10th. I know the opening team has already been selected. They've been working and training, and I think they've even ridden it, I've heard from some tweets. Awesome. And I've heard it's amazing. It's very fascinating to me because it doesn't have a traditional shoulder harness. It's like a lap bar mechanism, but it comes down from above.
Okay. So
your torso is free, but you have a very like snug kind of lap molded kind of thing on you. Yeah, I'm really good at describing these.
I wonder how that's going to be for my size people.
That's my one concern. And here's the thing with Universal. We know, and even with Disney lately, but Disney it wasn't until more recently, but Universal, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, a lot of these theme parks, they buy their attractions and coasters, quote unquote, out of the box from B&M or whatever company they're buying it from. They change the color, they change the car, but the layouts are similar, and maybe like a loop is in a different place. I don't believe Velocicoaster is the case for that, but I think the trains are pulled from another coaster model somewhere else. And with that, you get ride seats that are smaller. They're more, quote unquote average size. And we might get a modified seat or we might not. Like look at Hagrid's. I can only ride in the motorcycle. I have very wide hips. There's no way I can fit in the sidecar. I've tried. And I know like there are other people who can't even ride it. And it's unfortunate because it's such a good ride.
Me.
Yeah. And it's like you just I don't even know. I don't want this to be like become a whole podcast about that. I know,
No,
body
I
restrictions
know.
and stuff like that. Pandora, people can't ride Flight of Passage.
Same. Yeah, I can't ride that one either.
I'm very fortunate with Flight of Passage. I can fit. But like I can't go to Busch Gardens and comfortably ride everything.
Yeah.
I can't go to SeaWorld and comfortably ride everything. Sometimes there's modified seating. I also haven't been to Busch Gardens and SeaWorld in a while. I know Busch Gardens has modified seating. I would assume SeaWorld, but they're only in 2 rows and it's only like 1 seat. So someone like me and my sister both have very wide hips. We can't ride together most of the times because there's only 1 modified seat per row. Hulk changed that with the redesign. They added more modified seating and they added it to the front and back car.
Yeah.
Because you used to not be able to ride in the front if you needed modified. You were kind of shit out of luck.
I think it was like the 4th row or something.
Yeah, it's always 4 and 8, but now on Hulk, I believe it's 1, 4,
Okay.
9. I don't know, something like that. But I do hope that they have either modified or this seating kind of allows for all shapes, or at least a broader range in shapes. And I hope maybe that they'll dump a test seat out front before it even opens.
I'm sure.
But I mean, we have an opening date and I really hope that there is, either modified or this car is forgiving enough. I do know it looks very narrow. It's a 2-seater row. So we shall see.
All right.
And my last thing actually pertains to HHN. So, this one I actually found out from Cece. She sent it to me because I was either asleep or away from my phone. But Halloween Horror Nights has opened auditions for dancers to everyone. So the listing is up on their auditions website, not on their normal job site. Just look up Universal Orlando auditions. You'll see it there. We can also link it down in the show notes. I'll make sure to do that. It says, accepting dancer submissions for Halloween Horror Nights, Universal Orlando is seeking male and female dancers with an athletic build and strong in the dance styles of hip hop and or jazz. Select candidates may be invited to participate in callbacks. And then you have to provide availability for all dates, for the performance dates, as well as rehearsals, team member safety. It's kind of the same thing that I think we talked about last week or the week before about the team member auditions. But it says face coverings will be required to be worn in addition to costume mask for rehearsal and performance dates. So even the dancers are going to be masked up. You also have to attach a headshot, resume, full-length photo, a demo reel, and an audition video link for this audition. So there's a little bit more that you need. You need a demo reel. And the demo reel must be of a solo performance or group performance that clearly highlights or points out the candidate in the performance. And then your video audition instructions are first and last name, slate, your height, tell us what your current favorite song to dance to is and why, and then wear fitness or dance wear, and then record your video.
Wow.
So that's what we have right now. Cece, I know you have some thoughts on this, and I kind of agree with you.
I'm just hoping for Jack's Maniacs to come back. I need another Jack show. I do.
Absolutely.
I need it. It's about time.
I think that this might be it.
I hope.
I think it's likely. I mean, unless it's for something in the streets.
Okay, that could be.
Vamp 85 had the dancers for the ball drop.
Sure.
But I think it might be for something, whether it's with Jack, another icon, or just a second show.
Right.
I think we're, either getting a second show or this is something for his own. What that second show is, I really hope it's something with Jack or even all the icons.
Right, like an introductory show like they had in 25, something like that.
Because I know the bad people we don't like to talk about, originally they were supposed to come back. And from what I had heard from a murmur is that the story for their show was actually supposed to focus on Jack in a way. And he was going to be incorporated. So now that, that's a definite no-go for HHN, rightfully so. I don't know if they're going to go and do another, Carnage Returns just 5 years later, or if it's going to be something a little different. But whatever the hell it is, I'm excited. Maybe it's a Graveyard Review.
Oh God, don't tell me that. I would be so excited.
I don't think it will, because they'll need singers for that as well. But
Yeah,
maybe
that's
singer
true.
auditions are coming.
That's true.
I don't know what this could be.
I don't know either. Could also be like maybe not the Jack Show from 25 necessarily, but like like you said, the other icons. It could be like Horror Comes Home from 16, something like that would be really cool too. Like any kind of show like that for me would be awesome personally. I would love to see like the theme of the event be portrayed on stage again. It's been a while, obviously throughout the IP years and stuff. But yeah, so this is interesting. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I know people are already submitting auditions. And I wanted to just mention, I thought I had seen online somewhere, and Cece had seen it too, but we can't find it now. So I had seen somewhere that auditions were open to the general public, but when you go on their audition site, it's not listed. So I have a feeling that was incorrect. So if you have seen it, please let us know. We'd love to kind of retweet it and share it, but we have not seen it yet. So I didn't want to say that for sure on the show.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility, but it's not up on the audition site right now.
Yeah, the only thing I see currently was the one for the dancers on the general website. And then I have seen on UO Team, they still have their internal submissions up as well.
Yeah, and that was for stilt walkers and then just general scare actors. If you are an existing team member, or I believe if you had scare acted in the past, you also got the option.
Yeah, and it looks like they're looking for puppeteers as well.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. So we're I don't want to spoil anything, but there's definitely puppets in a house I've been through.
Yeah.
But you guys only have until April. Well, I don't want to say. Oh yeah, no, submission deadline April 11th for existing team members.
Okay.
So that's in 4 days. So I'm assuming if they're not open to the public right now, they will be after the 11th.
All right.
So that's all I got.
All right. Well, do we have a promo corner for this week?
Of course we have a promo corner for this week.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go ahead and take that away. Oh my God.
Once I figure out what the promo
Sorry. I'm like, oh, do we have one? And just put you on the spot like that.
And welcome back to another promo corner, guys. This week, we are bringing you a content creator. This week, we are featuring Matt. And Matt is from over at Theme Park Bar. If you guys are part of the HHN Twitter community, you guys have definitely seen Matt pop up on your feeds. I personally love his page. I've been following for a while. I think it's some of the best content we have out there. And it's different from everybody else. So Matt, if you guys don't know, he is an Orlando native and a career bartender. And what Theme Park Bar is he brings all of our favorite theme park alcoholic recipes and beverages, and he brings them into our homes, and he shows you how to make them easily at your home with things you can find at the store and recreate them. So if you want to check him out, it is themeparkbar.com. And I love his website because from there you can actually click on a page for each of the drinks, see a link to the YouTube channel, a picture of the drink, and the recipe listed out and what you need. So I think it's one of the best websites I've seen. I'm definitely going to start making some of like the HHN drinks you can find on there. Make me get ready for HHN 30. He also has a YouTube channel, and that shows you guys in detail how to make these drinks at home. I love him. He's so funny. He's so charismatic. Definitely check him out on YouTube. He is releasing weekly videos with different drinks and stuff like that. So that is Theme Park Bar on YouTube, themeparkbar.com. On Twitter, it is at Theme Park Bar. I will have that all linked in the show notes below. You guys know the drill. So definitely check out Matt over at Theme Park Bar. The Scream Queens love him. And now back to the Scream Queens.
All right. Thank you so much, Jess, for that awesome promo corner as always.
You're welcome.
And and are you ready, Jess, for the meat and potatoes?
You know what I have to say to this? You know what I have to say to this? I finally fucking watched it. So all you motherfuckers shut up.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. No, I mean that in the nicest way possible.
You've had since 1982 to watch this fucking movie.
I was not born until 12 years after this movie was made and released. Just point that out. I was born in 94. You weren't even born yet, Cece, when this came out.
I know.
Did you see it when you were negative however old you were?
Yes. No, just kidding.
My boyfriend wasn't even born yet.
Right. What the hell? Okay. But anyway.
We're doing Creepshow if you guys
We are.
Creepshow.
Yes. Where's my cake?
We are doing
Um,
OG 82? Yeah, 82.
Yep.
We just said that. 82 movie. Why are we doing that, Cece? Why on earth would we be covering this movie right now?
Well, okay, there's a few reasons. One, I love it. Two, we just talked about it with Justin and Christopher on the Monster Cast.
Yes.
3, and the reason we talked about it is because on the speculation map, we have Creepshow as a haunted house and as a scare zone.
Yes. And we don't know which one it means, so we don't know
anything.
But, I mean, I needed to watch the movie, so...
Exactly, and that was the 4th reason why.
There is no time like the present.
Exactly. So we were like, well, let's just jump on this, because as announcements keep coming, we're probably going to cover things as we get closer to the event, things that are associated with it. So we figured, why not start now? Because even if for any reason it is not at the event, we have some information about it being at a past event.
Yeah, so we're going to do a movie review and a little HHN history in the same episode?
Yeah.
What?
It's going to be awesome.
What? I just have to say, I'm not trying to brag here, but when I watched this movie, I just wanted to tell you, Cece, I am down visiting my parents in South Florida right now. I'm not in the cold New Jersey right now, thank God. And my dad just built like a screened in kind of a bar area out back. My dad is very like TV sitcom dad, like the most TV sitcom you can think of. The man, like, he loves to be a handyman around the house. He loves to have a beer in one hand, no shirt, all that shit. He built this screened in area. He's got a nice 50-inch TV out there, got a couch. It's screened in, it's got a fan, and it was like 80 degrees outside. I sat outside and watched Creepshow.
Hell yeah.
During the day, and I was living the fucking life. And I just needed to brag about it for a second. I'm sorry. I told my dad he created a haven. It is
I love that.
Outside. So now I'm going to watch everything for the next month that we have to cover for this show outside.
I love that.
I feel like it made the movie better.
Ooh,
I
okay.
don't know. It did not set the scene. It was sunny.
I was about to say, was it at night? No, it wasn't.
At 2 p.m.
Oh my God.
It's the only time I can get quiet time here.
Okay, that's fair.
So back to Creepshow.
Yeah. So this was came out in 1982, as I mentioned. It is American horror comedy anthology film. Now, the coolest thing about this, and at least in my opinion, is it has 3 fantastic people from the world of cinema on this movie. We have George A. Romero, who directed it. If you don't know who that is, then I don't know why you're listening to our show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. If you don't know who that is, he pretty much created the film Zombies, I feel like, at least a more popular person who did Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and so have you. So he's the director for this. The screenplay was written by one of the best authors everyone knows, Stephen King. So he did the screenplay, and actually a couple of the stories were based off of short stories that he wrote as well. So he adapted them into a screenplay. And we have a cameo and makeup work by Tom Savini. Okay. So
wait, how did I miss the Tom Savini cameo? I saw the Stephen King one.
He's at the end. He's one of the garbage truck drivers.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm serious.
Sorry. That's like one of my idols. You know this. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm Googling right now.
He's one of the garbage truck drivers that finds the comic in the trash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. Keep talking, but I need to Google this now.
Yeah, so basically the film is made as an homage to...
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry.
The film was made as an homage to the old EC comics from the 1950s, like Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, and Haunt of Fear. So the movie's really cool, and I really enjoy how it's set up. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you. I'm sure you do, since you're now getting into comics a little bit more. So,
well, comics, and I am a slut for an anthology movie.
Exactly, yeah. So I figured that you would like the style of it, because, you know, I like movies that do this. Like, Repo does this. Does Trick or Treat do this?
What you mean where it moves from?
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. It goes to, like, well, not necessarily a comic, but it goes to like a
Well, the opening is a comic because it is
Okay,
a
that's
comic.
what I'm thinking of.
I don't think it goes story to story, kind of like this movie.
Mhm.
Because the stories in Trick or Treat are more intertwined.
Right, but it does have that intro. There's something I knew
Yes,
that
there
was
is a
part of
comic
it.
book intro, absolutely, and there is a fantastic omnibus that was made and released last year in 2020 with all the Trick or Treat stories in it. Fantastic, love it. I have it.
Yes. That's awesome. So yeah, so it's made in that way where basically you have a prologue. Are you ready to get into the movie, or is there a couple things you
Oh,
wanted to stay
hell
first?
yeah! Can we talk about this
Okay.
asshole of a father?
Yeah, exactly. But it's Tom Atkins, so
Okay,
we have
yeah,
to.
but like, come on, he's an ass.
Yeah, he is. He's basically talking shit to his son Billy, who's actually played by Joe Hill, which is Stephen King's son.
Shut up!
No,
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of.
So he was really young in this movie. Obviously, now he's like a full-grown adult. But yeah, it's Stephen King's son who plays Billy. He's obsessed with these horror comics. Creepshow, obviously, the Creepshow comic. His father Stan, he swipes it from him. He throws it in the garbage on the streets. He's talking to his wife, saying he has to be hard on him because he doesn't want their son to read, quote, horror crap.
Rude.
Yeah. So Billy's upset.
Wait, can we talk about one thing his dad says that I like made my skin boil?
Sure.
Or my skin, yeah, my blood boil and my
Yeah.
skin, I guess. That's why God made fathers.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
Fuck you. He literally is like talking to his wife, and I don't know what his wife is like, it's not that big of a deal. And he's like, and that's why God made fathers. We gotta beat some sense into him. No, fuck
Yeah.
you motherfucker.
Like, you're already being misogynistic talking to her like that, and him and the kid.
Yeah.
You're yelling at him. Like, what kind of father are you, bro? What kind of husband are you?
I mean, he's class A fucking
Yeah.
right there. Moving on.
Yeah. So Billy's upstairs. He's pissed off. He, what we do when we're angsty kids. Well, I didn't do this, but he wished his father rotted in hell, and he starts to hear a sound at the window. The source of the noise turns out to be the Creep, who is like the mascot or icon of the Creepshow series. Really cool. I like him. He's like got a hood and he's kind of like skeletal, rotting looking. I think he's sweet looking. I love the new design too on the new show. I think he looks great. But yeah, he's in the window asking Billy to come closer to him. And then that's kind of like the prologue. The film now transitions to animation style, comic book style. The Creep removes the lid from the trash can and it transitions into the first story. So that's to set the scene. Okay, so you've got the kid reading the book, but then the book turns into, like, it opens up and then we start to see the stories. Now, do you want to go back and forth on these since there's a few of them, or?
I mean, we can kind of just do like the generic story and maybe talk about our favorite moments.
Okay, sure. I just didn't know if you wanted to each tell some stories about them.
Yeah, we could. I mean, I'm down.
Okay,
sure.
All right. I don't know if you want to take a second and pull anything up. I've got Wikipedia here, to be fair.
Oh no, I took notes. You want me to do Father's Day? You just want to start?
Yeah, if you want. Sure.
So from there, the comic book, we see. I kind of love how it does this because from story to story, I did want to say this. My ADHD loved this movie because I could keep my attention on a very short 20-30 minute story and then kind of regroup and then start a new one. And that's my main issue with movies is like sometimes I have really bad ADHD and I can't focus for 2 hours on something or 90 minutes if it's a slasher flick. So like this was just very palatable to someone like me. So I did want to say that. That's also why I love anthologies. It's very easy for me to kind of focus in and out and not lose a lot of what is going on.
Right. No, I agree.
It sounds so lazy, but
no. I like that too. Because I mean, as much as I love movies, it's still hard for me sometimes. Like I'll find myself fidgeting or on my phone. But yeah, I absolutely love this layout.
Yeah. So we start with Father's Day. So the comic book kind of pans down, and in the panels, you see the title of each story before it starts. So Father's Day opens and we see this family in like this it's a mansion. They're obviously rich. They're hoity-toity. The mom's smoking a cigarette, and you have the two older kids and then the daughter's husband. They're waiting on great aunt Bedelia, I believe is her name.
Yep.
And the husband goes, isn't that the aunt who, and he like turns around and the mom goes, the one who killed her father, or rumored to kill her father? Yes. And it's Father's Day. We find that out. And apparently they always have this tradition on Father's Day. Bedelia comes over to the mansion. She goes and visits her father's grave, and then she comes inside at 6 and they have dinner. So the story is that Bedelia was taking care of her father, and the father just knew, you only want me for my money. Very rich family. They kind of all have that mentality. They all go a little crazy as they get older. And Bedelia was the one who took care of him in this mansion that the scene is being set in right now. And on Father's Day, he's screaming and demanding for his cake, his Father's Day cake. He deserves a cake. And Bedelia snaps. And as she's making the cake, comes out and beats him upside the head. What is it? It's like a big marble.
It's a marble ashtray.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And does the maid see her do it?
I don't remember.
I don't know if she sees her do it or if she just kind of knows, because she's in the kitchen with her before she goes out there.
She probably knows then for sure.
Yeah. But so she goes ahead and kills him, and then
he's yes, I'm sorry, she does. She helped stage it as an accident.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Sylvia, right? Was her name? Yeah. Yep. So she helped her out.
Helped stage it, because I mean the man was miserable. He was like screaming at the top of his lungs. He deserves the cake. I would have snapped too at that point. She's the only one taking care of him. No one else, no relatives, and she's older herself. So they stage it as an accident. He's then buried out in the cemetery behind or in front of the house, where all of this family is buried. So Bedelia is a crazy motherfucker, and I love her. She gives me major like old wine aunt vibes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm here for it.
She's just fucking drinking her whiskey and everything.
Yeah, she's got literally whiskey in one hand and like a cigarette in the other. She's driving. She pulls up to the mansion. She gets out and she walks over to the grave like she does every Father's Day. And she's talking to him. What is she? Is she being mean to him? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure she
has
she
an
still
attitude.
Visits it, but she still like talks shit to him.
Yeah, she's like, you deserve it. Whatever. I would have snapped at my father too if he yelled at me like that. I'm sorry. So what happens is she's at the grave. She's got her whiskey, and a hand emerges from the grave. Very Jason Lives.
Yes.
Or any fucking zombie movie. So hand comes out of the grave, and we don't really see what happens from there, but I think it's almost 8 p.m. at this time, back inside the house, and everyone's asking where Bedelia is. So the husband goes outside to have a smoke, and he sees her car is there and the door's open. So he's like, okay, I'm going to go look for her. And he goes out into the graveyard and sees, I think he sees the grave is kind of like dug up, and then he sees her body and he kind of falls into the grave.
Yeah.
And he's laying there. The body kind of rolls onto him. And the tombstone right above his head, it's got like a square base and then another piece on top of it, and it's sliding towards him. And then he looks down at his feet or up at his feet or whatever aspect you want to call that, and he sees what would that be? Great uncle, great whoever.
Yeah.
The corpse is there, and he pulls.
Nathan, I think is his name.
Yes, sorry, I'm terrible with names. We know this.
Oh, you're good.
He pulls, or is he magic? Whatever. He pulls the gravestone on top of the husband's head and kills him. And then we move back inside. The mom is, telling whoever the maid, we want to serve dinner soon. The kids are getting antsy. She's telling her brother, hey, we got to go look for everybody. Mom goes off into the kitchen. And I see I'm going fuzzy here now. I should have the notes up.
It does say that Mrs. Danvers, the cook, is the next person murdered. That's what it says.
Oh yes, because she's in the door.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
we don't know that she. We see footprints in the door. So the mom follows the footprints into the kitchen, and then she sees the cook in the little galley window, and her face is expressionless. She's obviously dead.
And then
and so she screams.
Yeah.
And then I believe from there he attacks her and snaps her neck in the funniest neck snap I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I said
Yep.
it. Like fully like 180 backwards. And it goes back to the kids, and the daughter is, or the sister is saying, come help me look for them, whatever. And the lights are out and they're saying, oh, what are we, conserving electricity? I fucking hate the sun.
Right?
I hate him.
Because the lights go out and it's like, why do you have to be so stupid?
Yeah, I
Oh.
So they're walking and they're heading towards the kitchen, and out from the door comes the corpse with their mother's head on a platter decorated with a cake with candles sticking out of it. And he says, I got my cake. And
they scream, and we see that beautiful red and blue lighting.
And that is it for Father's Day.
Yeah. So this one's pretty fun. It's not my favorite, but it is iconic, because I think the reason it's iconic is because it's the first story. Yeah. And it's one that a lot of people just remember for some reason. But yeah, it's fun. But again, it's not my favorite. What did you think of it?
I liked it. I knew this one. So there were quite a few stories I did not realize I had already known from this movie, whether I had seen them on their own or just knew them from the Hollywood House from the videos I had seen. This one I knew, like, feel like that head on a platter is very iconic. Yeah. And I've seen that image before, and I kind of knew what was going to happen. There are some of them that I had no idea where they were going, and we'll get to those later. But this one, it's there. It's good. It's iconic, but it's not my favorite, like you said.
Sure. All right. So we're going to move on. Returns back to an animation screen again. So basically there's that transition between every story. The creep turns a comic page to the next story. And here we are with the lonesome death of Jordy Verrell. This is one of my favorites. We have Stephen King acting in this, which is hilarious. He plays like this dumb farmer, I guess you could say. He's like a backwoods farm guy who's kind of a little derpy. It's actually based off of King's short story called Weeds. So this is one of the ones that is based off one of his short stories. So basically he watches a meteorite crash. It lands near his farm. He's very fascinated by this. He's, just staring down at it like it's glowing, I think. Or did it not glow until it was cracked open? I can't remember. But basically, I don't think it glowed, what's the word, until later. But basically, it's like this brown meteor, and he's just observing it. He tries to touch it because he wants to pick it up, because he's like, wow, this is a meteor. Like, what am I going to do? This is cool. So he burns himself when he tries to touch it. So his mind, before he touches it, though, his mind is like, well, let me pick this up. Let me turn it into like, the science, like a local college or whatever. And hopefully, I can get enough money to pay off my bank loan.
Which was $200.
Yeah. And it's cute because it goes into like this really kind of funny, like, instance of like him thinking of this. Yeah. So it's like a whole nother scene of just like his thoughts. And so he picks it up and he decides to put it in water. Once he puts it in the water, another dumb move, it cracks open, and that's when it starts to spill the blue liquid. And then in another, if I'm running too fast on this, let me know. But you're good. Basically, he has another fantasy sequence as well. He imagines that the Department of Meteors refusing now to purchase it because it's now broken. So he's thinking of all these different things that can happen, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like his brain kind of works like mine, where it's like, this situation is going to work out. No, it's not. And then back and forth. So he tries to glue the halves together in the next morning, to try to make it at least look like it's fully put together, that type of thing. And, so from there he dumps the liquid out inside the meteor into the soil. But unfortunately the liquid does make contact with his skin. Okay, and this is really what sets the whole rest of this story. The liquid is very important. So, as time goes on, he basically sits at home, and when he's not farming, he's watching TV. He's got kind of like a bachelor pad style house. I mean, he's alone or whatever, and it's just kind of like a dingy little farmhouse. He basically is starting to notice that his fingers are like very like grassy or like weedish, like a plant. There's a plant like organism that
After
is like on
he
him.
was licking them all night.
Yeah,
Like
because
literally, he gets like blisters on them, and then he keeps putting them in his mouth.
yes, yep, because he's just dumb and like doesn't know what to do.
And he
So
doesn't notice it until he goes to drink a beer.
oh yeah, yep, because he's like
While he's watching
his...
wrestling.
Yes.
Wade was so proud of me because I turned and I was like, isn't that one of the Wild Samoans? And he was like, oh my God.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I was like, I know things.
Oh my God. So he has a lot of like these fantasy sequences. He tries to call the doctor, but he stops when he imagines that the doctor's going to end up chopping off his fingers. So he's freaking out about that now, without anesthetic. So there goes that. He's like, well, I'm not going to contact the doctor now. What am I going to get my fingers chopped off? And but basically, over time, the premise of the story is that the plants continue to grow all over his farm. Everything he's touched, himself, his beard, all over his body. He's itching. He's itching. He goes, all right, well, I'm itching. What am I going to do? I'm going to take a bath, right? Well, that's actually after one night he gets drunk and goes to sleep because he's like, how else can I get rid of this itching? So he thinks he can drink some alcohol and maybe it'll go away.
He makes a fucking screwdriver.
Yep.
I died. So he goes into the cabinet and he grabs a bottle of vodka. And I'm like, oh, that's smart. Kill the plant. And then he grabs orange juice. And I was like, is now really the time for a screwdriver?
I know, he should have just chugged vodka or like did shots.
But like, I don't even think he literally just went, oh, I needed that. So he just needed the alcohol. He wasn't even trying to kill the plant.
Yeah. He was just so like, he just needed to load off because he's just so stressed out. But yeah, so he wakes up later thinking it was all a dream again. And then he sees the plants are starting to grow inside the house. He finds a mirror and sees that his beard is fully grown with plants now. He's itching still like so much, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna try to take a bath. But as he gets up, he hears a voice inside his mirror behind him, which is his dad, who's dead. But he's basically talking to him, saying how, are you gonna get in that tub? It's the water that wants you, Jordy. Don't you know that? He's like basically saying how he'll sign his death warrant if he gets in the water. Because obviously the water would make it grow more, I would think. That's why. And he realizes it and he's like, well, Dad, I'm already too far gone, right? So he's like, basically he goes into the bath. He's like, this itching is just too much. I'm already a goner already, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this bath. The next morning, basically you see scenes of the entire farm. It's fully filled with stuff. He's fully transformed into this like plant creature
Human
monster thing.
Yeah.
And he obviously doesn't know what else to do. He's alone. What else can he really do? He can barely walk or talk because he's just built up with this plant stuff. Like his voice even changes. So he reaches for his shotgun, prays to God, and then he ends up killing himself.
It's so sad because he literally is like, please let luck be on my side just this once. Like,
I know
there's a bullet in there.
I know. Yeah.
So it is like, I was not expecting Creepshow to get like real, like deep and dark. Then like the next story is awesome.
Yeah. Yep. So these stories are really good. I think a lot of it is like, yeah, we have comedic moments, but then there's also like some serious stuff, and that's I think why I also like it.
Me too.
And then we have great makeup, great effects.
I love his look when he's like I love the grassy beard, and it's like, I don't know, it's just It almost looks like, and this is probably not the best way to compare this, but like the final one before he offs himself, doesn't he kind of look like Tafiti from Moana, but like male
Oh my
form?
oh my god.
Like that's the only way I can describe it, but like not pretty, but like the horror Tafiti.
Yeah, he kind of does.
But like, okay, so I have to tell you, the one thing I thought of, and Ashley and Daniel actually had watched this last week just because the new season had come out and they wanted to watch the original. So they pointed it out to me, but I like immediately saw it too. This story, does it not remind you of Seeds of Extinction from HH128?
I was just about to say that. They
Oh my
could
god.
easily use, if they still have stuff left over from that house,
Yeah.
they could easily use that to do this
They
story.
have to have like,
Yeah.
you can modify a ghillie suit really and kind of make it more green and it could kind of be Jordy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like, I think this, like, we were talking the other day, like, I feel like this isn't going to have a lot of, like, necessarily scares. I mean, I guess you could have Jordy be throughout the, like, scene or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it because I would love to see this one included, but I understand if they can't. But basically, though, once he ends up, like, doing that to himself, the TV weather forecast announces that basically heavy rains are projected and this will accelerate the spread of the plant growth. So basically what you think when you finish this story is that basically that stuff's gonna cover the rest of the world. So that's very interesting. But yeah, it's just sad because he was alone, and he just didn't know what to do because he wasn't very smart and just overall just whatever, and he decided to do that. I mean, so yeah. But we go back to the animation again. A gush of wind turns the comic book page. We see an advertisement for a voodoo doll that has a missing order form, so just remember that for later. And we move on to the next story, which is something to tide you over.
This one is one of my favorites, I will say that.
Okay. So you want to go ahead and talk about it?
And it's not even because it has to do with water and all that swimming shit.
Is it Ted Danson? No.
I mean, love me some Ted Danson. So that's something to tide you over. I'll say why it's one of my favorites after I get through the story. But so it starts with Harry, Ted Danson. So there's a knock at his door and Richard is there. And we find out that Harry has been having an affair with Richard's wife, Becky. And Richard knows. Now Richard's a massive creep.
Yeah.
And
no wonder she's having an affair.
I know. He keeps saying, what is the thing he says? Oh, he says, like, what is mine? He keeps saying in the matters of what is mine.
Yeah.
It's my property. He keeps pretty much just saying that his wife is his property. And that he's a very forgiving man, except for in matters of what is his.
Wow. Because he's very rich and like,
yes, very rich.
Thinks everything is, he's very like, this is mine, blah 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 kind of person.
I feel like he thinks that he is cooler than he is.
Exactly.
So Harry, I find it funny because he's like, I can bench press 300, and Richard's like, Harry, you know why I'm here. Just open up the door. And like Richard's very calm, and that's probably what makes this story so scary to me. Is he's just so calm through this entire thing, but it is so terrifying because he is obviously off his fucking rocker.
Yeah.
So he says he just wants to talk. He knows why he's here, and Harry knows. So Harry lets him in. He's like, I know about the affair, da 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 da, and he plays a tape, Becky, and it's Becky terrified, saying, Harry, help me, he's got me, and it keeps cutting out when it says where he's got her. But she's in distress. It's very obvious. And he's like, what have you done with her? Like, I'll kill you. And then Richard points a gun at Harry and says, I will let you see her, but you have to come with me. And Harry's like, absolutely not. Richard has a gun, so Harry gets in the car.
Yeah, exactly.
And he takes him to a very private beach. We come to find out that Richard actually owns the beach. And what does he call it? It's a
Comfort Point.
And so Richard forces him at gunpoint to climb into a hole in the sand on the beach. And Harry's like, I'm not getting in there. And he's like, I just want you incapacitated. so I can talk to you, and then I'll bring Becky to you. And so Harry gets in, and he gets buried up to his neck. So all we see sticking out of the sand is his head. Richard then leaves, and leaves Harry in the hole, Harry screaming. Richard, a man of his word, comes back and shows him Becky on a TV screen. And it is a video of Becky in a hole, just like Harry is, screaming, begging for help. So while he's watching this, he's seeing, I guess it's live. I didn't realize it was live. I thought it was pre-recorded. I'm not going to lie.
Oh yeah, it's live. I'm assuming she's like somewhere far on the other side of the beach.
Down somewhere else on the beach, because he says it's a very large beach. No one will hear him scream. So live footage of her, and the tide is already coming up on her. And he slowly is starting to realize that he's going to die, and so is Becky. And he's watching Becky die. And all the while, Richard is telling him, if you just hold your breath, the tide might set you free, and telling him like kind of how to survive, but in a maniacal way. And Richard is just happy as a fucking clam right now. And he's recording all of it. And he says he's going to make a double feature home movie.
The director much?
Yeah, for real. Paolo Ravinsky wishes, or I'm sorry, Pedro Ravioli. What are we calling him now? So Richard leaves Harry there as the water is starting to come up, and he's like, and I'll even leave the TV on for you until the water makes it short out.
Which is worse to me, personally.
Right, gonna watch his fucking, the love of his life, I guess. So Richard goes back up to his house, Harry's screaming, and he turns on the cameras, and he is watching them both drown over a nice glass of whatever alcohol he's drinking. Right before the water starts coming up on Harry, he looks right into the camera recording him and says, I'm going to get you, Richard. And that shakes Richard to his core. So later that night, he's alone in the beach house, and he hears voices calling his name. While he's showering, two figures come into his home, despite all of the security cameras and everything that he has in place. And he keeps telling himself not to be scared. Nothing happened. They're fine. But when he had gone down to the beach after the tide had washed back out, he didn't see the bodies.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that's shaking him. And he's like, the tide just pulled the bodies out. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And then turns around, and boom, there are like the very obviously drowned, swollen, zombie looking bodies of Becky and Harry. And they're chasing him through his house. They're covered in seaweed. And he tries to shoot them in the head, and like this black blood comes out, and they're not stopped. And he is just terrified. It fast forwards or whatever. They just say, we want to, what do they say? They say they want to do to him what they want to get revenge pretty much.
Basically, yeah. Hold your breath.
And then they bury him.
Did to us.
And the next thing we see is him saying, I can hold my breath a long time.
Yep.
And that's the it freezes, and that's the comic book panel that we see.
It's his head in the sand, yeah. So cool. My favorite is when they get shot and the watery blood or whatever.
And the effects.
It's so cool.
It is, the makeup in this movie is good.
I know.
Really good. There were some things that I was like, but a lot of it is really good. But this story, like I said before I told this story, this one is one of my favorites because it is so like terrifyingly calm for most of it. And it's also very real. Like,
yeah,
I don't know why. I've never liked people being buried in the sand at the beach. It scares me. The sand is already wet. It's heavier. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's down there. Like, I hate when people like bury themselves and do mermaid tails. Makes me uncomfortable. I feel like y'all are gonna die, and this kind of plays into that fear.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how scary that is?
I don't want to imagine that. That's fucking terrifying.
Like, drowning is like legitimately one of the scariest ways to die personally for me. And I was a competitive swimmer my entire life. I was a swim instructor and a lifeguard. That is still one of the most terrifying ways to, like, for me personally, and to just be incapacitated like that and like forced to drown.
Yeah.
Is just
Yep.
Terrifying. And Richard is just so calm.
I know. And that's what's crazy is, like, you're right. This one is not very I don't want to say supernatural, but it's not very it's it's very real. It's something that could actually I mean, obviously the end is a little bit, but like I mean, somebody could actually do that to somebody. Like that's scary.
Yeah, and nobody would ever know if it's on a fucking like private beach like that.
Exactly. That's what made it so scary. Is just like he was just so calm. Like you said, Leslie Nielsen, obviously an actor that a lot of people know, did a great job in this scene, like or in this story. He was scary. Like, but then obviously he got his at the end, which was great.
Yeah, it was not the one I was expecting to like, the most, but it was definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I didn't really like that one or understand it that much, but I definitely respect it a lot more now.
Yeah,
being an adult. Let's see. So, I'm gonna need your help a little bit on this one.
okay.
The reason why is because there's a lot going on, kind of, but not
Yes.
at the same time.
This is the longest story, right?
I would say yes, and that's
Okay.
another reason why I think is because I have pretty much always forget shit. So like I have the premise here, but if you have any details, definitely chime in. So we have Mike Latimer, who is a janitor at Horlicks University. Basically the scene is called The Crate. If I didn't mention that. This is another very iconic story from this movie that a lot of people know about, mainly because of the puppet or animatronic, excuse me, that was used in this. It's very iconic. So basically, he drops a quarter. It rolls behind a grate under a basement staircase at the school. He tries to get it, but he comes across a wooden storage crate. The marking on it said shipped to Horlicks University via Julia Carpenter, Arctic Expedition, June 18th, 1830, or excuse me, June 19th, 1834, on the crate. It's hidden deep under the staircase. It's pretty dark in there. He calls on a biology professor named Dexter Stanley to notify him because he's just a janitor, So he's like, I need you to come look at this because I think he was he's at a gathering, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like a mixer or whatever.
Yeah, that's at the party, and his best friend, Professor Henry Northrop, which is probably I want to say our protagonist.
Yeah, I feel
most
like
of the rest of the story.
Yeah, it starts out as I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. Was it Dexter?
The biology professor, yeah.
It like starts out as Dexter, but then like halfway through, you kind of ditch him and it goes to Henry.
Yeah, exactly. So him and Henry Northrop are there. While at the party, though, it is something to mention that he notices that Henry's wife is being extremely obnoxious, emotionally abusive, drunk.
What would you do without me, Henry? You're so worthless.
Yep. Her name's Wilma, but she says people to call her Billy.
Everyone calls me Billy anyways. And the thing is, I liked her in the beginning. I was like, she's spunky. And then like very quickly, I was like, I don't like her anymore.
Yeah, she basically talks shit about why she's married to him the whole time. Like, why is she with him? He's worthless. He's a piece of shit. Blah blah blah. And he's kind of like me. He's kind of like a person who pleases people. Sometimes a pushover type of guy. So I feel for him, So, but he does have daydreams of killing his wife because she's crazy as hell.
The best one is when he shoots her in the head right there at the mixer and they all applaud him.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, nice shot, Henry.
Yep.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so he's at the point, he's at his breaking point with her at this point, though.
I think he's past his breaking point.
Yeah, he's past it for sure. Let's see. So Mike, okay. Trying to remember where we're at here. Mike. Oh, Mike is the janitor. Okay. So Stanley, who's Dexter Stanley, excuse me. So the biology professor that the janitor called and the janitor himself, they remove the crate and move it to a nearby lab. They're curious, obviously. Mike decides to stupidly stick his hand inside the crate and begins to scream in pain.
What does he say? He's like, I think I see emeralds or rubies or something.
Yeah. They're like, oh, there's gotta be treasure in here and all this.
Dumbass.
Like, stupid. I would never stick my hand in there. Like,
right? Well, I mean, they think that whatever's in there is dead. It's been in there for however many years.
Yeah, exactly. And it they probably think it's not something living, or they think it's inanimate or whatever, So, so the crate begins to briefly open, revealing that a shaggy ape-like creature with sharp fangs is inside of it. And I don't even think he has. Is his name Fluffy?
I don't know if it has a name.
I think it has a name, and like fans made a name.
Oh, okay. I was
think
like,
it's
I mean, most
like
like makeup artists or special effects crew will name like puppets and stuff like that. and,
yeah.
like,
I think
costumes.
I have some information on this one actually. Where let's see. I don't have his name, but wait, here it is. On an episode of Livewire, Tom Savini revealed that most of the creatures in the film had nicknames, as well as the creature in the crate, Fluffy. Haha, so I was right. So yeah, Fluffy is revealed, but he's not very well, he's fluffy, but he's not very cuddly fluffy, if that makes sense. So it says basically the creature promptly kills and entirely devours Mike, even though like he's not as big as like Mike is. He still eats him. He leaves behind his mangled boot.
Yep.
So Dexter sees this and he's like, oh shit, I better go. He runs. He bumps into a student. He tells the student what happened. So this student, who was a recent graduate, he tries to determine what's going on too. He's investigating. They both go back to the lab. They find it covered in blood. But what's missing is the crate and the creature. So they're gone. But the whole room is like bloody and stuff like that. They later find out the crate has been moved back under the stairs where that was found originally, and they also find Mike's boot. They wanted to measure the bite marks on the boot. So they, examine the crate a little bit closer, which, again, if you just saw that happen, why would you let somebody get that close?
He tried to tell him no.
He didn't listen.
He tried so hard, but Charlie, Mr. I just graduated. I'm gonna ignore the fucking
I'm gonna be fancy. And
wasn't he also like a stand-in for like a professor that was gone on vacation or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Charlie was like a stand-in professor, so he thought he was fucking high and mighty. Or
Yep. He's like, oh, I'm here to take over this, so I gotta do things like as best as I can, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So basically, he gets pounced on by Fluffy, and it kills him. Dexter runs away again, takes the boot with him this time.
Because that's the important thing to bring.
Yeah, right? Like, I guess it's for science.
I mean, yeah, there's bite marks on it.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, because the bite mark. So he's freaked out. This is the second time he's run away from somebody who literally gets killed right in front of him. So he runs over to Henry's house. Now Wilma has left for the evening, or Billy, as you want to call her. Mm-hmm. She's going out to do whatever she wants to do because she doesn't give a shit. Was she going out to drink or something?
I think it's bingo or shopping, because she doesn't want to be there. Because Dexter and Henry are supposed to play chess that night at Henry's house.
Okay. Yep.
She doesn't like Dexter. He smokes. She doesn't like that. Billy's obnoxious.
She doesn't like anybody.
Yeah. She literally thinks that she is the only good thing for Henry in the world. And
yeah.
So she leaves. And it was like, make sure he's gone at whatever time, and
Mm-hmm.
And so she's gone, thankfully, when Dexter shows up.
Yep. So he's freaking out. He's telling Henry the story of what's going on. Henry, I'm trying to remember, does he believe him right at first, or does it take him a minute, right?
He says that, I know, I think he says that he's like, all right, just wait 1 second, let me grab us a drink, and explain it to me. And then he slips like a sleep aid into his drink then.
Yes,
while
because
he's getting the whole story.
Mm-hmm. And the reason he does this is because he's having thoughts in his head. Well, if this is really happening, this could be a potential way to lure my wife in to get killed,
Fix
right?
My problem.
So he's trying to get Dexter to sleep so that he can leave. So he like you said, he puts sleeping pills in his drink. He writes a note describing the fake assault of a college student by Dexter to lure Wilma to Amberson Hall.
Yeah, he uses like gossip and drama, saying that since Dexter's wife has passed, he's found solace in the younger students.
Mm-hmm.
and he attacked one, and she's hiding under the stairs and won't come out.
That's what it is. Yep. And
And
he's trying to get her to talk
yeah,
to
he like
her,
used
or
reverse psychology, saying like, I can't do anything without you, Wilma. I need you, Wilma,
mm-hmm.
and all this stuff to kind of lure her there while he's literally cleaning up the bloody mess at the school.
Right.
He puts on like a rubber apron and he is mopping and bleaching everything out so she doesn't see it.
Yep. He's like, he is determined at this point. Okay.
What a heel turn. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What a fucking heel turn right there. He
He's
literally
just
went from 0 to 100.
He really did, because he's like you said, he's past his breaking point at this point.
Yeah.
He's gone full blown, like, I literally want to kill my wife. So he freaking gets her there. He's trying to tell her that the girl's under the stairs. She won't come out. Down in the basement area, whatever, where the crate
Can I complain
is.
about something real fast in this?
Sure.
So Wilma, when she reads the note from Henry, she's drinking a glass of milk. She's literally pouring herself a glass of milk. And she then proceeds to bring it with her in the car on the way to the school, brings it out of the car on the way into the school, where she knows what she's about to be doing is helping a girl come out from underneath the stairs. She's then still fucking holding the glass of milk, even as he's telling her to look under the stairs. She only lets it go when he shakes her.
She's special.
You don't need the milk that bad.
No. And why it wouldn't be warm by then? Ew.
Well, like, also, like the only this I have to make a bad joke every episode. It literally only makes me think of she needs some milk is like all I can think about.
What is that?
It's another Vine or like a
okay.
Vine 100. No, it is a Vine. Yeah,
It's like a meme. Yeah.
yeah. It's 100% like only thing I think about. And like Wade came outside like halfway through. I was watching it, and I looked at him. And I was like, she needs some milk, and he died. Resume the story now. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'm glad you put that in there, because I totally forgot about that. I was just like cracking up about her because
I have
she's
notes.
just...
I can send you a picture. It literally says "put the milk down," bitch.
Oh my god. So he pretty much like has her like looking into the little entryway for the little cage that is underneath the stairs. And then all of a sudden, like he gets back,
like
or he
shaking her.
basically shoves her in, and then she's
He's
like,
like,
what are you doing? You're just stupid. What? She's going off on him, and he just fucking starts shaking her, and she's like, okay. She was like,
what?
yeah, she's just like, what was that for? Whatever. And then she just starts going off on him again, calling him all these names, because he's a little bit stunned because the creature didn't pop out.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to shake her and be loud so that the creature would hear. So he's just like, okay, what's going on? And she's just being so emotionally abusive, saying he's worthless, blah, blah, blah. And as she's going on her little tangent, we see behind her, Fluffy starts to come out of the crate again. And then he ends up mauling her and eating her, which is exciting, kind of. I think it's a fun scene. And from there, the next morning, so Henry describes to Dexter how he secured the beast back inside the crate. Then he dumps it into a nearby quarry where it sunk to the bottom. Basically, he tells him that the creature's drowned and will let the authorities handle the disappearances. Like, you don't want to get involved. But it is revealed to the audience, to us, that the beast is in fact still alive and is last seen tearing the crate apart.
Yep.
So that is the end of that one. I love this one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand Wilma. She's so fucking annoying. But like,
Yeah.
I love Fluffy and the animatronic itself. I think it's iconic and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's like leaves you wanting more because you know he's still alive is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's the crate. What did you think of that one?
This is one I had seen before. I had known about this story. I had seen Fluffy before. I was very familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I am not a huge, I don't want to say not a huge monster person. I love the classic monsters. But like more current modern day, like I don't love like Godzilla or Kong or anything kind of like that. Yetis don't really do it for me, even though I did love Terror in the Yukon. I did love that house at HHN.
Mm-hmm.
This, like, I loved this monster. I love Fluffy. I love the design. The teeth are really terrifying. You don't know what it is. How did it live so long for so many years? Like, so many questions.
Yeah.
But I love that, like, it gives you a character to hate right off the bat with Wilma. And it gives you, Henry, who seems like, oh, funny, haha, he wants to kill his wife, but you don't think he's actually going to do it. And then boom, he does it. And it kind of leaves you like questioning, like, who's the bad guy?
Right, exactly.
And I love that. And I love when like horror movies make us think and question.
Absolutely. And I did want to share something. So the creature from the crate was the first fully animatronic creature that Tom Savini created.
Yes.
Which is exciting. He spent over an hour and a half on the phone with effects artist from The Thing, Rob Botton, I think is how you say his name. He did The Thing, The Howling, and Total Recall, and he got advice from him on how to build it. So I found that pretty interesting that this was his first animatronic.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think it worked really well. I think Fluffy is adorable in a weird way.
Yeah.
But also scary.
I think we will 100% see him.
Oh,
if the
yeah.
house is actually happening.
For sure. I can imagine that. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I like the crate. I do like the crate a lot. I do still think the last story is my favorite.
Oh, really?
No, not the last one. The last one I talked about.
Tide
Not
You
the
Over.
last
Yeah.
one. Yeah, something to tide you over. No. Well, we can talk about the last one though.
Oh yeah, you ready for
Oh, I'm ready. This is Daniel's least favorite.
it?
Daniel despises roaches. Like despises.
Most people do.
No, but like if he sees one, he will leave the room. He cannot kill it.
Oh wow.
He can't, like, one of us has to kill it. And like I get it, they're terrifying. So this one, the fifth and final story, is called They're Creeping Up on You. So this one we see Upson Pratt, and he is described as a neurotic business tycoon, which absolutely, the man has money and he flaunts it. He is very rude, biggest asshole probably I've seen. And he lives in a very sterile, like completely white penthouse apartment. And it's atop of a skyscraper in a major city. I don't know if they actually ever say which city. But he has a telephone that he's constantly calling his employees, the front desk guy at the skyscraper, whoever, harassing them and just being an asshole. And as you see it, you kind of see how maybe, I don't know if I want to say germaphobe, but like he is, spraying a bug dead. He kind of wraps his finger in a tissue paper before he touches his own phone.
Yeah, he has like misophobia or whatever, just
Yeah.
basically germophobia. Yeah.
So on the phone, one of his employees calls to inform him that one of his other employees, Norman Kastenmeier, committed suicide because Pratt fired him. Pratt seemed very happy about that.
Yeah.
Fuck him. And so on top of that, there are roaches. He keeps seeing roaches in his apartment. He's killing them and he sends them down this little vacuum kind of contraption that he has at his desk. And he hates bugs, so he calls the building super and makes racial slurs.
Yeah.
To intimidate the man, to get someone up there, he said, within the next 30 minutes to get rid of the bugs. He keeps flaunting how much he's paying for the apartment, $3,200 and whatnot, and da-da-da-da-da. Eventually, I know we get a call from Kastenmeier's wife, the employee that had just killed himself, saying, I hope you die, you're terrible, I hope you die. And he's delighted that his employee killed himself, or his former employee. And he's just laughing at the mourning wife on the phone. Just really shows you what a class act this guy is.
Oh yeah.
I will say, like, Creepshow, for how fast the stories move, I feel like they do a really good job of making you either love or hate whoever you're supposed to love or hate right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
Besides Richard, I will say that I feel like Richard was meant to be a little charming in the beginning. So as he keeps finding more and more bugs in different areas, like I said, Norman Kastenmeier's widow calls. Pratt's amused until the cockroaches start to multiply. He finds them in his food processor, in his food.
Gross.
He finds them in the cereal box of the cereal he's eating, and then a blackout occurs, and the roaches attack. like legitimately attack. And they're coming from everywhere. They're coming up from the vacuum. They're coming from the sink. They're coming from the food, from the walls, from the floors, from the windows. They're everywhere. And so Pratt is then running into his safe room, which I guess looks like his bedroom. And it's airtight. So he gets in there and he answers another phone call, and it is again the widow saying, "I hope you die." And he lifts up the bed sheet because he sees the bed moving, and there are just thousands of roaches on his bed.
Yep.
And right then and there, as he's hearing, "I hope you die, I hope you die, I hope you die," the roaches, he falls over onto his bed, and the roaches swarm over him, and he has a heart attack and dies. Then right then and there, the power comes back on. There are no roaches to be seen in the apartment anywhere.
Nope.
The building super then knocks on the door and laughs when Pratt doesn't answer. But you see him lying in his safe room in his bed, just no roaches around, just lying there. And he says, the superintendent says, "Bugs got your tongue," and then laughs. And after he says that, the roaches literally burst from Pratt's body.
Yep.
Like burst. And they're just coming out of every like orifice and like busting through his chest, and it's bloody and it's gross. And they fill up the entire glass room.
Yep.
And that is how it ends.
Woo. Yeah.
I'm not even like, I don't like roaches. I don't like killing them. I don't like seeing them. We live in Florida. Palmetto bugs are like a massive issue here. But like this one did not like fuck with me.
Yeah.
Like I guess it should.
I think it's because I've seen it so many times, but
maybe
to somebody who hasn't seen it, it's very claustrophobic. I feel like it'll do really well. Actually, we'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, I'm just gonna curb that for later.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow, like one of my favorites though, I think, because it plays on real like fears that people have. You know what I mean? Like outside of just like made up creatures or whatever, or monsters. This is something that's, we deal with every day. Bugs. And a lot of people have a fear of bugs. So I feel like this one is really interesting in that sense. But I also love it that it's kind of like justice served to this asshole. Because who the fuck acts like that? Like he's like the most worst guy in the world. Like
literally.
He's the worst. But yeah. Do you like this one then?
It's all right.
Okay.
I think it's a good story, and I think it plays on a lot of people's like fears. It's a very general fear, and then also like he's a complete asshole, so you kind of want him to die.
Yeah.
It's just meh for me. I liked some of the others a little more.
Okay.
But I know it's iconic.
Yeah.
And I do respect it for as iconic as it is. Maybe if I had seen this when I was younger, this one probably would have really gotten me, but because I just watched this one for the first time at 27, it's just meh.
Yeah, I gotcha. But yeah, that's a last full story. Basically that goes back into the epilogue with Billy and his dad in the comic book. The following morning we see two garbage collectors. One is Tom Savini.
Yay! I did see the picture.
Okay.
They find that was him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
he's
again.
so young in it, right?
He's a baby.
Yeah. It's wild. I love his little cameos. But we find the comic book on the curb. Actually, they find it, excuse me. They're starting to look through it a little bit. They see the ads for the X-ray specs and a Charles Atlas bodybuilding course. They see an advertisement, the same one we saw earlier for the voodoo doll. But they're sad because the tag was already redeemed, or the order form was already removed. Inside the house, now we go back inside. The father, Stan, he complains to his wife that he's suffering from neck pain. He figures, it's probably just a sprain. Whatever, he's complaining about that. Upstairs, Billy is revealed to have sent away for that voodoo doll that we saw earlier. He was the one with the order form. And he has decorated it with a piece of his father's clothing and some of his hair. So, Stan clutches his throat, the father, in pain, as Billy repeatedly and gleefully jabs the voodoo doll with a pin, finally getting revenge on his father for his past abuse. So this is interesting. An interesting like outro. It transitions then back to an animation for the final time, and the images of Billy jabbing the doll becomes the cover of the next issue of Creepshow. And then the creep is seen holding the same comic book, laughing sinisterly as a candle goes out. And that is the end of the movie. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Like I said, I don't remember. I don't think it was on our show. I think it was on our friend's show. But I used to be really scared of this movie as a kid because I was shown this movie as a kid. My childhood best friend, somehow we got a hold of it, so we watched it. So I've been seeing this movie on and off for years. Actually, even just the thought of the sleeve for the film, like the little creep inside the movie theater box, used to scare me as it is, just to see that anywhere. But then, like, obviously you guys know my story with horror. As I got older, I started to not really be so scared of it anymore. And so now this movie just really is more of like a sentimental or nostalgic thing for me, and I really enjoy it. Again, I'm another person who loves anthology films, so for me this was great. But for Jess, who just watched this for her very first time, I'm going to let her kind of give her a full wrap up review kind of the movie and what she thought about it.
Yeah, so I understand why everyone yelled at me to watch it. I get it. It's very good, and I can see how Creepshow walked so Trick or Treat could run. And I don't want to say Trick or Treat's better, but Trick or Treat's my favorite horror movie. I say it all the time. It is very much a perfect movie in the feelings that it gives me. It gives me the warm and fuzzy Halloween feelings and everything I want. Creepshow is really good. It has really high points and not really low points for me, but just some kind of meh. Like I said, there's some stories I'm more excited about than others. I personally really loved season 1 of the TV show a little more than I loved the movie, actually. I think the TV show kind of took where Creepshow started, and I haven't seen the sequels. I know there's a couple. But I really loved what the TV show did, and I think all of those stories were very good. I did see a tweet recently that was like, does anyone else feel like in the Creepshow TV series, the first 30 minutes of the episode or the first couple stories are really good in the episode and the last one's like meh? I kind of agree with that, but I also feel like that's how the movie was as well. So it's just, I feel like everyone's always going to love some stories more than others. So I feel like this movie is perfect for like a group of people because everyone's going to walk away with a high point in the movie for them. And you have like more science fiction-y stories. You have more like true horror. You have a little bit of gore, a little bit of creepy crawlies, monsters. I think it's really good for everyone. And it's nothing like super, super fucked up that like I would say it's like, oh, you can't watch it till you're like an adult. Because like we have friends like Big Heck. He is showing Boogie Gargano, his 9-year-old, a bunch of horror movies that are acceptable for her. And I think that this is one that she could totally watch if she hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I saw it at a young age. It did scare me, but that's just me. But there's enough like comedic / and the colors and everything are kind of cool, so I feel like it could work. Yeah,
it's very bright, and even the gore that is there, it's not like, oh my god,
it's not very realistic.
Yeah,
so it's like almost fun, like
and it makes it feel like the Creepshow really makes horror fun. That's probably the best way to put it. I like that you said fun. Yeah. Which horror is fun, but I feel like it makes it fun for the average moviegoer. But I like it. I want to go rewatch season 1 now so I can watch episodes 1 and 2 of season 2 now when 2 comes out in a couple or tomorrow. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I gotta get back. I gotta get on the new season now. So
yeah.
But yeah, as the show goes on, I mean, it could be a potential future episode. Maybe talking about the show episodes. Because I really enjoy it. I enjoy short stories like this. So, me personally. So I know you do too. So I feel like that might be a future thing.
My ADHD brain can handle it.
Yes.
It's not 12 movies in a franchise.
Oh my god.
Hey, I did it.
Yeah, you did.
But so we said in the beginning we're gonna tie some HHN history into this. Should I get into that really quickly?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Okay, so Creepshow has appeared at HHN before, but it was at HHN Hollywood in 2019. and it was kind of a hybrid house based on the movie and season 1. So it took kind of some stories from the movie and some stories from season 1 and mashed them up into a house. And we're kind of going to quickly go through the stories that it covered and some of like the main parts in that room. So like I said, this was 2019 at Universal Studios Hollywood. This house was housed in the Metro lot, which I don't really know a lot about HHN Hollywood. I don't know if that's upper or lower lot. I'm assuming that's lower lot. Metro is probably like the New York streets. Not 100% sure. But based on Creepshow 1982 and 2019, The Facade was the comic book. What?
Oh, I was just saying I'm not sure exactly where either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I guess I could click on it. No, it's not showing me anything. That's okay. So The Facade was a comic book. You walked in through the pages, you saw the ads and all of that. After you walked into The Facade, you would see another hallway with more comic book pages left and right. And right before you walked into the first room, you saw Father's Day. So the first one that we're walking into is Father's Day. And I do like that, kind of like before you entered each story, just like the movie, it gave you that title page in the comic book. So you go in, there are black curtains. Of course there are. It's Hollywood. Oh God. I'm so sorry.
It kind of works for this one though, because again, it is separate little stories.
Yes. So
but like,
I'm not super mad at that.
Yeah.
You're walking through, it says Father's Day. You'd see another Creepshow comic, and the creep would actually pop out from behind this. And this is one of the scares that Hollywood does it a lot. We've done it a few times. The last time I remember seeing it was in 27 in Blumhouse Chapter 2 in the Sinister section. It is 2 like almost spandex fabric curtains that are tacked like almost together, but there's an opening, but it doesn't look like it. So they can kind of crash through it really fast, and then it closes back up because it's like a stretchy fabric. So he actually popped out of a comic book kind of like that. And then you would keep walking. You actually saw a comic ad, monster size monsters, with a picture of Frankenstein's monster on it. I just thought that was cool. Love my boy Frankie. Then you would walk through a pitch black hallway and you would enter the first episode, Father's Day. In the first room, you see the family plot where the grave is. And you see Nathan actually coming out of his grave. And they were both static figures with Bedelia next to him. Then you go inside the mansion and you see the creep laughing in the window. Then you would see red and blue lights would flash and Nathan pops out from behind a set of white curtains. Then you would see him choking his great niece Sylvia before they enter the kitchen, which is the mother. And you see a static figure of Mrs. Danvers. Then further on, you see Nathan kicking out a set of doors, holding a plate with Sylvia's head in it, which had candles on it and everything. And then the final room of Father's Day is pitch black, and Nathan then pops out from some black curtains on the left. So I do remember seeing the neck snap in there, though, in the videos I've seen.
Okay, I gotta rewatch it again.
Because it's Nathan is a live actor, and then the Sylvia is a mannequin that her head rotates.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So from there, we then go into another pitch black hallway, and we enter a room with a cover of the comic The Crate. So we're going into The Crate. I know Cece would probably love this.
Yeah, I love how they did this one.
It's really good. So we enter an office in Amberson Hall, and you can see the crate on top of the desk, and Fluffy would then actually jump out of the crate as you walked around it. Then the lower half of Mike the janitor could also be seen sticking out from the crate.
That's awesome.
You then enter a small room with a large flight of stairs with Fluffy's crate under it. And then you can see Fluffy trying to escape the crate as guests could hear the sounds of birds chirping. Which is from that scene where Dexter told Charlie don't go in there.
Oh, yeah.
The next room is pitch black, and either Charlie or Dexter, depending on the cast, would pop out on the right from behind a set of black curtains. And then the final room of this story is another pitch black room where Fluffy would be seen sitting right on top of his crate popping out at you. So lots of Fluffy, lots of scares, lots of crate. Um, I think that the likelihood of seeing the crate in the house is high.
Oh
If
yeah,
it is a house, I don't think that one's going to go on
definitely.
the street. And I think that this is something I hate. I hate saying this because I feel like I don't want to say a lot of shows, but a lot of people I see online say, "Oh, well, Orlando's just going to take Hollywood sets and do it again." That's not how Orlando functions. Um,
No,
I
because
mean, sometimes,
they're gonna obviously go off of like feedback as well. Like if it
yeah,
didn't do well, they're gonna do something different, or they just might have their whole own like design layout in their heads, like something totally different.
right. And like
So
that's the thing is like they so I don't know. I'm not on creative. I don't have friends on creative. I don't know anybody. Um, from what I understand, though, from what I've heard and seen and read up on, the way that it works is like with some of these IPs, the IP holder uh, requires certain scenes to be featured and doesn't allow certain scenes to be featured. We don't
okay.
know what it's like with Creepshow, but I mean, they might say that like certain stories have to be included. So someone's not going to be happy regardless. They can't do all the stories. It's impossible.
Right.
I feel like doing the crate and Father's Day are iconic.
Absolutely.
Same thing with the next one we're going to talk about. But the crate, I feel like the only thing that they might take from Hollywood might be the fluffy costumes or the design because they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even the crate, but like maybe some of the scares. But the way Orlando functions normally is like a lot of their own ideas. They bounce off each other sometimes, but they're separate events, even if some of the IPs are the same. So from the crate, we move into another comic book titled "They're Creeping Up on You." So I think that picking those 3 stories from the movie is probably the smartest decision that Hollywood made. I don't know how they would do the Tide one really at all.
Yeah. I don't know either. I mean, I would like to see it because I'd like to see the costumes or makeup of them when they come
Mhm.
back. But I can see why this one wouldn't be as like easy for scares and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like they could make it scary, but I think that, like I said, picking these 3 is the best.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So from you enter the room with the comic book set that's titled "They're Creeping Up on You," and then the creep would jump out from behind the comic book. So you got a lot of the creep in this too, which I kind of love that they just sprinkled him in there.
Yeah.
Um, so we enter into the next episode. You would be greeted with the inside of Ups and Pratt's penthouse
Oh, it is
during
New
the.
York City.
Oh my
Okay.
god! Well, damn. During a citywide blackout. You would enter the White Room with thousands of cockroaches all over the desk, table, jukebox, everything. In the same room, Upson would then jump out on the left behind a white door covered in cockroaches. You would make a right turn, walk by a glass room where Upson is laying on the sofa, and you see roaches all over him, but they're also projection mapped, crawling all over him, so you see them moving as well.
Which is cool.
It looks
I love
so
the
good.
way they did this. Yeah.
It's really good. So they crawl all over his corpse. You see that. You walk down another pitch black hallway with there's thin wires to simulate cockroaches crawling on you. And the sound of crunching is playing by your feet.
Ooh!
How creepy is that?
I
Ugh.
love that.
I wish they kind of like shot air at your feet too.
Oh, that would be good.
Ooh, oh my god. You then see another comic book titled Gray Matter, and you enter that episode from the show. So you enter Richie Grenadine's house, and Doc, Chief, and Timothy Grenadine could be heard inside. Inside, you smell mildew and mold. You walk to the kitchen and you see Richie's corpse sitting by a moldy chair, or on the chair, excuse me. In the same room, you see the monster. He then pops out from behind a curtain right in the kitchen, like a bulbous
That's the
looking
one
head.
with the dad who would drink all like the beer, the specific beer, right?
Yeah, and the beer like took over his body or whatever.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Jordy Verrell a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. No, I literally thought the same thing.
Yeah.
From there, you would enter a moldy bathroom where you would see two corpses in the bathtub. And then the final room of the episode features the gray matter monster again popping out at guests from behind some curtains. And from there, you enter the final transition room, which shows the cover of the comic Bad Wolf Down. As you enter the final episode, you would be greeted with the inside of a French prison. As you walk past the jail cells, you would see claw marks and blood all over the room. To the right, there would be a dead Nazi general corpse lying on top of a table. You would enter one of the jail cells, and then Captain Talby pops out in front of guests. You enter another cell. Private Rivers pops out in front of guests. And the final room of the episode features Doc Kessler as a werewolf puppet that would also pop out in front of you. So they got to reuse that American Werewolf in London
Yeah.
again.
This is one of my favorites from the first season. That was one of my favorite stories.
To watch this one. He loves werewolves.
Oh, he
and
does?
I think he would. Yeah, they're like some of his favorite creatures.
Yeah, this one was awesome. I loved it because basically what happens in this one is that they're Americans, right? They get stuck in the French prison there.
I believe so.
Yeah, and then they basically it's during World War II, obviously, and then basically they're in the cell with this woman. I guess she's a werewolf herself. We should find out later, and I think she ends up like passing it on to them. And then they kind of get revenge on the one of their friends who leaves them behind, but also on the Nazis. So this one just to me was too cool. I loved it so much. And you know who was in it? Was I'm pretty sure Kid Cudi was in this.
Oh, really?
Pretty sure he was one of the military guys in the jail cell. Yeah.
I don't know that.
But yeah,
Wow.
I gotta rewatch it too. I remember loving this one a lot.
I need to rewatch.
So-
That's why I want to rewatch season 1 because I only remember a couple of the stories.
Yeah.
And I don't remember this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow, you got to rewatch it. It's good.
I'm gonna get Wade to watch it with me. He needs to watch all this stuff for HHN as well. So for the last room in the house, you enter the epilogue room where the creep would pop out one more time from behind a poster, and as you leave the maze, they would pipe in the sound of the creep's laughter.
Ooh.
And then that was it. That is the Creepshow maze from Hollywood. I think Orlando's will be tackled in a similar manner, but I think it'll be very different, personally.
Yeah. I mean, I think Hollywood did a really good job of picking good ones for a house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was going to say earlier when we were talking about Creeping Up on You. Like, that one was just very good for a house because it's it plays on, like I said, the bug fear, but also the claustrophobic fear, because not only are people scared of the bugs themselves, but the fact that they're crawling all over you, that's got to make you feel suffocated. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, I thought that was fantastic. I got to rewatch the walkthrough again. I know I remember Fluffy being really cool and looking pretty much like spot on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited to see what Orlando does if we do get this house, which hopefully we will, because I'm sure we will, because they've had a long-standing relationship with Greg Nicotero, and I know he's doing the new show. So even if we don't get anything from the movie, we might get stuff from the show, which would be still cool. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, me too. I can't wait.
So yeah, that is a bunch of Creepshow information. We wanted to blend it up a little bit, like I said, to get you guys excited for the event, because it is on the map, speculation map right now. It was supposed to happen last year, so I'm sure it's going to happen. So yeah, we wanted to get you guys excited a little early, and we also just needed to see the movie too. But yeah, the only other thing I wanted to say about that was, yes, there were some sequels. Creepshow 2, personally, I like it, but it only has 3 stories. It's very underrated. I feel like it never gets enough love. And Creepshow 3 apparently was directed video. And I never saw it myself, but I heard it wasn't even like
that sounds
good at all. So I don't even know if I'll ever watch it, but I love cheesy stuff, so maybe one day. But yeah, if you guys like anthology movies, if you've never seen this, because obviously we know people who've gone 27 years without seeing it.
Hey.
Go ahead and watch it. Get yourself hype for HHN. Go watch the walkthrough of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. There's really good walkthrough like videos of this one.
There is. It's great. So, but yeah, so overall, Jess enjoyed it, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's just going to be like one of those things that's kind of just like that you'll remember forever. I feel like it's very iconic.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, all right. Well,
housekeeping.
Yeah, I'm about ready for it. So I'll go ahead if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Talked about the house. So we can be found on Twitter. That's our most active. Scream Queens 85 is our @ we're on Facebook, the Scream Queens, and we're on Instagram, the Scream Queens Podcast. We have a TeePublic, which will be linked in our episodes. Definitely check that out. There's a lot of times where they'll go on sale for like $13, so keep an eye for those days. I try to post them whenever I notice that on the Twitter, so just keep an eye. We are part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network, an awesome network full of horror, and then some other podcasts that are just like a mishmash of random pop culture and stuff like that. Mostly horror, and those guys there are awesome. What else? Am I missing something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to follow Cece and I individually, I am at Beetlejuice on Twitter. She is at CeCeTron.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just changed my Instagram. It's a little easier to find me. I'm at Beetlejuice85 now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I still can't get Beetlejuice. Some bitch has it, even though they haven't posted. But Beetlejuice85 will have to do. So Twitter is at Beetlejuice. Instagram is at Beetlejuice85. Cece, you're at CeCeTron on everything, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Lucky. You can also find me on Squad on the Rocks, which will be dropping our first episode probably in the next week.
Awesome.
And I am actually on a third podcast now.
Yep.
So I can promote that here. Our first episode will be dropping Monday or Tuesday, so the 12th through the 13th. It is called Women Can Wrestle, WCW. It is an all women's wrestling podcast. Well, not all the hosts are women. I am the only woman, but it is all about women's wrestling. So if you're into that, check us out. Women Can Wrestle, WCW. That is actually on another network called the Silver Site Network, and that is a video podcast, guys. I'm going to be doing a video.
That's awesome.
Scary. But Cece, you also have something that just came out.
Yeah, so my first episode of See You at the Movies, CE, like my name, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But See You at the Movies just came out on April 1st. I had some awesome guests, my husband Teddy and your boyfriend / one of my best friends, Wade, on the show, and we talked about our top 5 childhood films, and we also did a shit ton of honorable mentions. So go be nostalgic with us, guys. Listen to that episode if you want. This is going to be a bi-weekly show. The next one will be on April 15th, where I'll be talking about my favorite movie of all time, The Goonies, along with our dear friend Kirby. So that should be interesting. Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Oh my god, do you know what I realized we forgot?
What?
Our question.
I'm so glad you remembered. All right. So let's pull that up here, guys.
My god, we suck.
No, I'm glad you remembered while we're still here. All right, let's do this thing. All right, so we had put out our trivia question this past week, which was, and I want to pull it up before I just try to guess. I believe it was the one about Suspiria. Is that right? Let's see. Try to pull it up here.
I don't remember. It was the one about the actress.
Here it is. Yep. All right. So, what actress plays the main character, Susie Bannion, in the 2018 Suspiria remake? And a lot of you got this right on the nose. Dakota Johnson. She was in, I think it's Johnson, right? She was in 50 Shades of Grey, Peanut Butter Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the new Suspiria yet. I don't know if I want to, but I am hearing it's good, so I might. And let's see. Who do we have? Let's go ahead and work. Actually, I know somebody perfect that is always on our stuff. Who's awesome. He's always supporting the community of HHN. We got the Rev, baby.
Yes, the Rev.
So you're our personal shout out for the week.
Listener of the week.
Yes, go follow the Rev. He's so supportive of this show, of the HHN community, of people in general.
A lot of creators out there.
Oh yeah. So there's that from last week.
Yes.
And our fan of the week. And then what do you have for us for this week?
So I can't find my cards because I am in South Florida.
Oh, no.
No, I know I brought them, but I have a question. I found one.
Oh, okay.
I found one. And again, it's either going to be very easy or not. It is a quote. I'm going to give you guys a quote, and you have to tell us what movie it's from.
Ooh.
Okay. The quote this week. And all you have to do, you guys know, quote tweet us your response. Cece's going to put out a nice tweet with the question. Quote tweet us your response, and you guys too can be listener of the week, and we might shout you out next week. So the question for this week is, what quote is this from? Listen to them. Children of the Night, what music they make.
Ooh, I know this one.
It's probably very easy. But if you guys know the answer, like I said, quote tweet us with your response, and you could be our listener of the week next week.
I feel like that's a very good question because it's going to hit both sides of the
yes
community. So that's the only hint I'll give you guys.
That's it.
Yeah.
We could give a really easy one, but we're going to move on.
Yep. So definitely look out for that tweet. I usually try to post it the day after our episode goes live now, just so that the tweets aren't too close to each other and you guys actually see them. Definitely quote tweet us with the answer and we will pick a fan of the week to shout out. Now that just reminded me of that, I'm glad we got that done. Was there anything else that you could think of that we are missing?
No, I think that's it.
All right, guys. Well, we cannot wait to see you guys in the fog. We're getting stoked. We're always excited. We've been excited since forever, last year, whatever, but we're still holding on to that. And we got dates now, so it's even better.
Hell yeah.
We just need to manifest some ticket prices or ticket types.
I think
that's my next goal.
I think we'll hear it soon. I think we're going to get an announcement very soon. I don't know about tickets, but definitely about something.
Okay, well, we shall see. And yeah, hopefully it creeps up on us. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week. Stay spooky.
And don't forget to scream, queens.
Bye.
Bye.